everybody. Welcome to EcoArts class, where we always learn something cool about the planet and we make an awesome art project together. I'm Miss Raychel, your EcoArts teacher. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a wild animal? Maybe you'd be covered in fur, and maybe you'd be hunting your own food. Life would be totally different as a wild animal, and you'd rely on the things in your environment to keep you healthy and surviving. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about wolves and how they change rivers. What? What was that? Wolves change rivers? I know. Wolves, rivers, they seem like two totally different things. How is that even possible? Well, you'd be surprised just how many things are all connected. Imagine you're a wolf living on the land with your friends and your family. You've got your wolf pack. Then your land starts going away. Humans start using it for farming crops. How are you supposed to eat your food like deer and other animals when there's no land for them to be on? Oh, but the humans have got some animals on the land. Maybe you could eat that. Oh no! The humans didn't like you eating their livestock. And this is exactly what happened in Yellowstone National Park. Humans got rid of all the wolves there so they could build their farms. Then, about 70 years later, wolves were reintroduced to the area by humans. So, here's the story of what happened when the wolves came back. First, the elk were used to having the lay of the land. Without the wolves around, they weren't as scared of predators. But when the wolves came back, they stopped grazing in certain areas in the valleys because it's harder to escape a wolf in that area. So, in those areas where the elk were eating up the vegetation, now the vegetation could grow. The trees grew taller in the valleys, and this is very important because lots of animals need those trees. So without the help of wolves, there actually wouldn't be as many beavers. So with this vegetation comeback, the beavers were back at it, building dams which create important ecosystems for other animals as well. Not only that, but the dams actually change the way the water flows throughout the park. And the roots of the tall trees stabilize the soil to help prevent erosion. Isn't it awesome and kind of mind-blowing how connected everything is? So that's how wolves change rivers. And in our art project today, we're going to draw a wolf to represent how wolves balance the ecosystem. Grab your art supplies and let's get started. For this art project, you're going to need a white piece of paper. Use watercolor paper if you're going to be using paints. You'll also need a bowl that fits just inside of the width of your paper. Grab a pencil, an eraser, crayons, and you can use watercolors if you have them around. If you do use watercolors, you'll need a medium small brush, a towel, and a cup of water. You'll also need a straight edge, like a ruler or a sheet of scratch paper. Grab your pencil and make sure you have a good eraser. We'll be using this a lot. We need to draw two centered lines on our paper, so I'm using an old practice watercolor paper to get my lines totally centered. You can use a ruler if you'd like. I just carefully fold my paper in half lengthwise and line it up with the edge of my watercolor paper. Then I lightly drag my pencil along the edge to draw a line right through the middle of my page. Make sure you draw lightly with your pencil. You'll erase this line later. Next, I fold my paper in half at its width and line it up with the bottom of my page. Now I'll trace the line through the center of my page. Great! These lines will keep our drawing balanced. Balance is the distribution of the visual weight of objects, colors, texture, and space. It provides a structure that feels equal on all sides, although the elements may be different. Now, let's grab that bowl and flip it upside down in the very center of your page. It should fit inside the page with a small amount of room on each side. Then, trace around the bowl with your pencil. Great! Now we have an even circle in the center of our page. This is perfect. Now let's start drawing our wolf by drawing his eyes first. We'll draw them along our horizontal line, equally spaced apart. Let's imagine that we're drawing a diagonal lemon right here for the shape of the eye. Then draw a circle in the center of the lemon and another circle inside that. Then draw a tiny circle inside that will keep white for the white of the eye. Do this on both sides. Awesome! Now for the snout. Let's draw a big, long U shape along the vertical line. Now draw an upside-down triangle at the very bottom of the snout for the nose. We can draw a little mouth here as well. Great! Now let's draw the top of the head about halfway between our center point and the top of our circle. Just a simple curved line like this. Now draw the ears on each side of the curved line. Cool. Now for the shape of the head. Start at the inside of the ear and make a diagonal line all the way down to the horizontal line on each side. Awesome! Now continue those lines to a point below the snout. What details do you notice on the wolf's face? Without drawing too many lines, just draw a few areas that you notice the color changes on the wolf's face. I noticed some color change around the eyes, the top of the head, the ears, and above the eyes. Also, draw 2 lines for the body. Great! Now I'll create a balanced backdrop to represent elements of the balanced ecosystem that wolves are part of. You can decorate the circle a little bit like I did here. Now you can get creative with the background, but think about balance as you make 4 different scenes. I'm going to split my background up into the sun, the moon, the rivers, and the trees. You can choose other animals, plants, and flowers in the wolf's ecosystem if you'd like. Once you've finished drawing a balanced backdrop, we'll outline the whole thing in crayon. Grab your eraser first and erase the 2 middle lines. We don't need these anymore. Continue to erase pencil marks as you go, step by step, as you outline with crayon. Now let's start with black crayon for the eyes. Outline the lemon and the biggest circle in the eye. Color that in with black. Then color in the center circle, leaving your smallest circle uncovered for the white of the eye. Great! Now color the nose and mouth black, as well as anything else on your page that you know you want to be black. If you're using watercolors, the crayon is going to stand out when we paint over it. This is called a crayon resist technique. The harder you draw with your crayon, the better it's going to pop against the watercolor. I'm using gray to outline the other lines of my wolf. Here's a tip. Instead of just tracing your lines with crayon, draw little short lines along your pencil marks to represent the wolf's fur. This creates texture. Texture is what makes things appear rough, silky, shiny, smooth, fuzzy, and so on. Draw any extra details that you see, but don't color it in. Remember, we're just making the outline and we'll use watercolors to paint over it. If you're not using watercolors, you can color it in with crayon, markers, or whatever you have on hand. Keep outlining your entire drawing with crayon, using whatever colors you'd like. Beautiful! Now let's grab our watercolors. We'll start with the light colors in our wolf's face first, then add layers of darker colors as we go. When you mix your watercolors, it's important to mix them on the side, cleaning your brush and drying it regularly. Don't dip your brush full of color into another color. This can ruin your art supplies. As artists, we can be pretty messy, but if we don't take care of our supplies, then we can't make art at all. So this step is super important. Now, when you're painting the fur on your wolf, you can create texture by lightly pecking your brush against the paper. I like to think of it like a little chicken just pecking at the page, very lightly. We get these little strokes that look like fur on our artwork. You can continue this over and over to make your wolf look nice and fluffy. Mix your grays and light colors to continue painting your wolf. Don't forget to paint the background inside your circle. You can use whatever color you'd like. Now mix some grays and blacks to add darker fur to your wolf, continuing to peck and create texture with your paintbrush. You can pause this video and look at the wolf photo as you paint. Awesome! Once you've finished with your wolf, go ahead and paint your background in sections, keeping in mind the balance. You'll want to fill the entire page with color. Use this time to relax and reflect on the beauty of nature. Pause this video and maybe play some nice music as you finish your watercolor art piece. How did that feel? Did you feel balanced, like your art piece? I know I did. Yay! Now we have an awesome art piece celebrating the wolf and how every element of an ecosystem creates balance. Thanks for making this wolf project with me today. That was so fun. Please share with me what you made. Take a pic and send it to heyparachute@gmail.com. I might feature you as a star artist on my next video. Well, I'm gonna go roam around the forest now. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.